Raise your hand if you provide really good customer service. Raise your hand. That's your problem. I want you to really think about this. There's a big difference between customer service and customer experience. Customer service is after the fact. If someone tells you, we're going to send you to customer service, it's normally to solve a problem. I'm going to ask you to now start focusing on customer experience. That's before. For example, anybody ever hear of a guy by the name of Jeff Bezos? If you do anything from Amazon, it's all about customer experience. I had Amazon come out to my unit, and I said, I want my whole unit to be Alexa everything. The guy was there for 3 hours. I kid you not, he must have said customer experience at least 10 times while he was there. He said, at Amazon, it's all about the customer experience. Who here has ever heard someone say that 15% of what you're going to do is going to make an 85% difference in your business? Who here has ever heard that? I totally disagree with that, by the way. I believe that 20% is going to make an 80% difference. I believe 15% is going to make an 85% difference. And I'm going to give you real quick the 15% stuff that you want to do in your business to completely change your business. I had a guy stand up about 3 years ago and he goes, that's not true. That is not true. I've been in business for 32 years. 32 years. What one thing are you going to teach me is going to make that much of a difference? I don't think that is true. Watson, what do you think about that? And he said that in Australia in front of 2,000 people. And I just stood up and I said, decaf. Decaf. I said, I know what I'm going to talk about is going to make an 85% difference, because when I was in Australia, I went to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, in the urinal, I saw a little dot. And I stared at that dot. I said, what is that dot? But I realized it was a fly. But as I got a little closer, I realized it wasn't even a fly. It was a picture of a fly. It was a sticker. And I'm staring at it going, who does that? Who puts a sticker of a fly in a toilet? So I go outside, just on a hunch. On a hunch, I type in the word urinal fly. And this website comes out. What they are basically saying is, men, we are target focused, is what we are. We need something to aim at. And if you give us something to aim at, that bathroom floor will be 85% cleaner. And I know it's true, because I looked at that fly and I said to myself, I am going to drown this fly. Let me give you some of the major mistakes a lot of agents make. You can do high tech and you can do low tech. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of agents spend a lot of time on high tech, but they're not mastering low tech. I live in a neighborhood in Chicago called Lincoln Park. We call it Lincoln No Park, because everybody's on top of each other. There's some guys here doing an amazing painting job. I mean, I've been watching them for a week paint this place. Amazing. I walked up to the guy on the ladder and I said, excuse me, can I get your card? And he goes, I don't have any cards on me, but they're on the truck. I said, well, I don't want to go on your truck. He goes, no, they're on the truck. He had magnetic cards stuck all around the truck. I said, so what do I do? He looked down and said, take one. I said, oh my God, this is absolutely brilliant. I said, you only have 4 left. How many did you start with? He said, a couple hundred. He said, the only way we advertise. It's low tech, but it is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give you a lot of strategies. I feel that you should have a strategy for everything. I even have a strategy for arguments. It's true. I do it all the time. Raise your hand if you've ever had somebody do something to you that, for lack of a better word, was diabolical. Raise your hand. I had a buyer who I showed 80 properties to, 80, in about 4 days. On the fourth day, when she met with the loan officer called me and said, Terry, this place that you found for her is amazing. I said, well, which one did she pick? Because she's in between 3. He said, what do you mean, which one did she pick? She just gave me the contract. She had a sister that had a real estate license. used me as an unpaid Uber driver and had her sister write the contract out. I was devastated. I came this close to getting out of real estate. I didn't think anybody could be that cruel, just cruel. That was diabolical. And when I told my mom, my mother, you have to understand, has a PhD in divinity and close to a PhD in counseling psychology, which basically means I've been on her couch my entire life. She said, Terry, this was totally your fault. I said, how was this my fault? That I had the Antichrist sitting in the seat next to me. How was this my fault? She said something. I want you to leave this session, never ever forget it. This one phrase changed my life. She said, it's not the person, it's the process. It's not the person, it's the process. Anytime something goes wrong, she said, you have a process that allows people to abuse you. You need to change your process. So now, I require everyone to sign an exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. That has never happened to me since. It's a process. So I'm going to go real quick and give you some processes. Who here believes that a coach oftentimes can get you to do something you might not do yourself? Yep, my goal today is to give you some really good coaching.
Oh, you're not just going to walk away and give up.
Stuck.
You can get that. That's yours. Nobody else. Get in there and give it some heat. Give it some heat. Get it some heat. Get it up. And you get it. You go with your right. And you don't get it out. You get it. You get it. You get the one that there. You get it. Yes. All right.
So let me give you the first strategy I want you to have. Only have a problem once. If something bad happens to you, you need to sit down and say, what process do I need to change to make sure this never happens again? Only have a problem once. For example, Converse. Converse All-Stars right now are the hottest gym shoe in the country right now. In the country. I would say Vans is probably right up there, but Converse All-Stars. Do you know what's funny? When I was in high school, you got Converse All-Stars because you couldn't afford Nikes is why you got Converse All-Stars. Well, the red is the hottest color in the country right now. So I go to DSW to buy some red Converse All-Stars about 6 months ago, and when I opened up the box, it only had one shoe in it. I said, it only has one shoe. And I said, oh, okay. So then I went through like 10 boxes. Every box in my size only had one shoe. So I went to the counter and I said, all your Converse All-Stars in red only have one shoe. And they said, that's because you haven't paid for it yet. When you pay for it, you get the other shoe. I said, what? They said, that shoe is stolen so often, we only give you one and keep the other one behind the counter. And I thought about it and I said, it's a process. Only have a problem once. Do you have an IKEA here? I was at IKEA in Chicago, and I needed to get something for my bathroom. And I walk in, and while I'm walking in, I see a toilet, but the toilet has something plastic over it. And as I get a little closer, it says, display only, not for use. What does that tell you? Something very bad happened. Someone said this can never happen again. Only have a problem once. Here's the next thing I want you to do. Everything that we have in this country was based on a veteran, something that a veteran or someone in the military did for us. As an organization, as an agent, do more for veterans. I saw this at an airport, thought this was absolutely spectacular. They had a whole wall, and every branch of the military is there represented. Let me tell you, who here is in the military? In the military, served in the military? Thank you for your service. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. If you wear a name tag, do this. I was at Verizon. Verizon is now, I just went into Verizon just to look at a phone, and I ran into this guy, Kurt. He's an Air Force veteran. I ended up buying something from him that I was not planning on buying, but when I saw that he was a veteran, I said, this is the person I want to work with. If you are a veteran, you served a veteran, get a name tag and put whatever branch of service that you are in. People in the military are finally starting to get the respect that they have always deserved. Not put your name on it. I have a lot of friends in the Marines, a lot of friends with veterans, and they'll tell you, if someone in the military, people don't get it truly how much they sacrifice unless you're in the military. Someone in the military would prefer to work with someone who's in the military who has served. Put your name on your name tag. Put your name on your name tag. Next thing I want you to start doing is start talking about student loans. Most agents have nothing on their website about student loans. Student loans right now are the #1 reason why Generation Y is saying they're not buying. Do you know that I have several friends that are divorce attorneys? They will tell you the #1 question that they get on a divorce is about student loans. 1 out of 7 divorces right now are because of student loans. Put something on your website about student loans. Absolutely. Next thing is this. Don't make people think. People hate to think. If there's one thing I want you to do, don't make people think. I was down at the local Ozarks a couple weeks ago, and I was driving down the street, and I saw this sign. It's an actual sign. Fudge. I didn't have to wonder, what do they sell there? Fudge. They did not make me think. Don't make people think. Next thing is this. This is a report I want you to download, and you should be giving this report to every buyer. Experian every year does a report called the State of Credit. It's absolutely amazing. It tells you everything you want to know about credit. This should be on your website. You should be giving it to every buyer. You should give it to every seller. It is a fantastic report that most agents do not. Next strategy is this. I want you to make a decision to become more efficient. I live in Chicago. In Chicago, I put snow tires on my car every year. Put my snow tires on, take them off. I get my tires at Costco. It takes Costco about 15 minutes to change my tires. If Costco was trying to make that process more efficient, do you think they could shave some time off 15 minutes, yes or no? Absolutely. Does it take NASCAR 15 minutes to change 4 tires? Doesn't it? So that's one side. So you figure 12 seconds, 12, 13 seconds. Do you think that they can make that process more efficient?
Yes.
You think they can shave some time off 12 seconds? Let's look at how they do it in Formula One.
With a passion for details, great things can be achieved. The 3 fastest pit stops in Suzuka were all set by the Scuderia Ferrari. The measure of all things was Vettel's first stop, 2.24 seconds.
Now, do you think they can make that process more efficient?
Yes.
How many people say no? How many people say yes? How many people are going to raise your hand no matter what? One of the things I want you to walk out of here and realize, no matter what you're doing, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you sell, you can make the process more efficient. More efficient. So let's talk what you need to do to make everything more efficient. Raise your hand if you have a problem in your life. We all do. We all have a monkey. I call it our monkey. Everybody has a monkey that sits on their back. And guess what people try to do with their monkey? They try to give it to us. And guess what we do? We take their monkey. It's not your monkey. Your job is to give the monkey back. So we're going to talk about monkey maintenance. I'm a master of monkey maintenance. You go out with a buyer and the buyer will say, so tell me, how long do you think that furnace is going to last? That's a great question. Well, let's make sure when you get it inspected that we mention that to the home inspector so he can give you the life expectancy of the furnace. Everybody raise your right hand. Go like this. Repeat after me. It's not my monkey.
It's not my monkey.
Stop taking the monkey. It's not your monkey. I say that about 10 times a day. I'll say, that's not my monkey. That is not my monkey. Here's the book that I want you to get. If you want to provide the best experience, a book I want you to get is the book Nuts. This is the story of Southwest Airlines, and it tells you why they provide and how they provide an amazing experience. So 2 things I want you to do. 1, I want you to get this book Nuts. 2, I want you to provide an amazing experience. People should remember you. People remember people who provide an experience. For example, I was on a plane, the guy next to me just would not stop talking. And I said, sir, I don't mean to be rude, but I said, I need to sleep for about 45 minutes because I missed my connection. I'm gonna have to drive all night. And he goes, oh, so what do you do? And blah, blah, blah. And then he started talking about his dog. And I said, I took out my iPad. I said, it's funny that you mentioned dog. I said, I just got a dog. And I said, I just got my dog from the pound. And they were gonna put it down that day because he came back twice. He said, what type of dog was it? And I said, I don't know what type. I said, but here's a picture.
Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
He stopped talking. I closed my iPad, put my Bose headset on, went back to sleep. When I got off the plane, I saw him look back at me like this and said,
That's Jeff Bezos.
give people an experience. Next thing I want you to do is this. If you want to be more efficient, there's 2 programs every one of you should be using. I don't care which one you use. One is Nomo Robo. Nomo Robo. It is free for your house. It's a couple dollars a month, but it pretty much stops robocalls. I was just in New York. The top producer in all of New York said Nomo Robo gives her about an hour back a day from all the calls she's just not getting, answering everything. My other favorite is one called Robo Killer. Raise your hand if you have a sick sense of humor and you dumb it down all the time because you're not sure how people are going to take it. Raise your hand. Yeah, you're like me. My sense of humor is so sick that when I was in high school, I found out the coach was going to give us a drug test. I took my cup and filled it up with apple juice and gave it to the coach. And when he looked at it, he goes, Watson, why is this so cloudy? I said, Coach, it's okay. I'll run it through one more time for you. My arms are still in shape today from all the push-ups he made us do. He did not think that was funny. If you have a sick sense of humor like me, the one you want is called Robo Killer. Robo Killer is about $3 a month, but here's the great thing about it. Pretty much stops all your robocalls, but it has bots that the person will talk to. They will be talking to a bot, and it records the conversation so you can email it to people. I've got about 20 conversations. One person talked to a bot for about 10 minutes, backwards and forth. Hold on, I'll be right back. What's your name? How can I help you? And he's going backwards and forth. It is you will laugh till you cry. Robo Killer. So no more Robo or Robo Killer. But get something to stop the robocalls. Just something. I can't say enough. Next thing is this. Instead of providing service, provide an experience. Harley, the CEO of Harley was trying to explain that to the salespeople, don't sell Harley as a bike. Sell it as an experience. For example, Harley, they kept saying, you're selling the bike. Here's what he told the salespeople, exact words. What we sell is the ability for a 43-year-old accountant to dress in black leather, ride through small towns, and have people afraid of him. That is what you sell. So here's what I want you to do. If you want to provide the best experience, people like to work with people who they can tell are enjoying what they're doing. I see realtors all over the world. 50% of them look like they've sucked on a pickle. Their face is stuck on pucker. Have more fun. If you have more fun, it will actually increase your income. Who here has a Facebook account? I post fun stuff on my Facebook account. This type of stuff I post. Somebody showed me this. I posted this a couple months ago. I love to post dog shaming stuff. I saw this and I forwarded it. 0 days since the last toilet paper massacre. She put me on a diet, so I ate her shoe. Claims the pillow attacked first. Oh, this is still my favorite. I locked my parents out of the car, and as it was running, and while they were writing the $80 check to the locksmith, I rolled down all the windows so I could get a better look at what they're doing. I was at an event about a year ago, and I walked past a guy, and I kid you not, I thought his name tag said Cockroach Realty. And I stopped, and I doubled back, I said, did that name tag just say Cockroach Realty? And I went back, it did say Cockroach Realty. I said, Cockroach Realty? He said, I'm not even a real estate agent. He said, my wife's an agent. And she drags me to all these events. And all these realtors think they're these big muckety mucks. So I basically just had cockroach realty, and I love to walk past them and dare them to say anything. Period. And I said, what happens if they say something? He goes, I tell them, you got a place that's roach infested? I'm your guy. Start having more fun. Because I want you, instead of just providing service, provide a good experience. Barbie doll provides a service. It sells a doll. But if you look at American Girl, they sell an experience. If you look at a regular doll, you can get a stuffed animal. It's a service. If you look at Build-A-Bear, they're selling an experience. Southwest. Southwest is the airline I switched all my travel to about 1.5 years ago because I just like the experience. My other airline, I was almost always in first class. I have millions of miles with them, but Southwest is just the best experience in the air. I went up to the flight attendant when I was boarding. I boarded first, and I told the flight attendant, I said, I have to tell you, you provide the best experience of any airline I've ever been on. When I got off the plane, they gave me a card that said, thanks for flying. They gave me a luggage tag, and they gave me wings. Wings! All my life, I wanted wings! I was on a Southwest flight. You want to talk about experience? It was somebody's birthday. I watched the flight attendant make a birthday cake out of toilet paper. Toilet paper. Then they took the peanuts and the drink stirrers and made a birthday crown, put it on the person's head, and had the whole plane sing happy birthday to this person. I wish you could have seen how happy this person was. Just how happy they were. Unbelievable. This person will always fly Southwest. They will even drive to another state to stay on Southwest. It's an experience. Who here has ever seen an ad from National Association of Realtors on why you should work with a realtor? Let me show you how they do it in Canada.
Oh, wow.
Finally ours.
Goodness. Excuse me, what happened to our backyard? We had like 2 acres.
The backyard ends here.
And Melfest begins here.
Your realtor really should have caught that.
We didn't use a realtor.
Check out, make sure the largest transaction of your life comes with no regrets.
Earlier I said, don't make people think. And you go, Terry, come on, Terry. You gotta have something better than that. It's epidemic how many times in a real estate transaction we make people think. There's 3 things that I want you to do. If you'll do these 3 things, it would change your real estate life. 3 sheets of paper. First sheet of paper. Every buyer, every seller you work with should be given a sheet of paper that says frequently asked questions. FAQs. I promise you, I've lived in California for 5 years. I went to Woodland Hills, California, and I lived in Woodland Hills, California for 5 years. I went to El Camino Real High School. Very familiar with California. And I realize a lot of you are seeing some challenges as far as inventory. Would you agree that most buyers and sellers ask exactly the same question, just in a different way? Yes or no? Yes. I do not have a license here in California, but I guarantee you, if I get my license, one of the first contracts I'm going to write, a buyer's going to look at me and say, if this contract is not accepted, will I get my earnest money back? Or they're going to say, why are they moving? Or do you know how much? These are standard buyer questions. Here's what you do. You have a sheet of paper that says frequently asked questions. Your goal on that sheet of paper is to address stuff so you stop a problem before you have it. So if I lived here, let me give you some of my frequently asked questions. If I see a property I really like, how soon should I write an offer on it? One frequently asked question. What are the odds I might be in a multiple offer situation? If I'm in a multiple offer situation, will the sellers automatically lower their price, or will the sellers automatically lower their price if it doesn't appraise out? So frequently asked questions. Second sheet of paper, things you should not do. And this is a sheet of paper that you have where you're telling the buyer and seller things they should not do. For example, I tell the buyers, do not talk inside someone's house. You're being video recorded, you're being audio recorded, and they're gonna use it against you. Don't even talk outside, because that Ring doorbell can go 30, 40 feet. They're listening to what you're saying outside. Do not keep drugs in the medicine cabinet. Oxycontin, painkillers, do not keep guns in your house. Do not. So, frequently asked questions, things you should not do. The third sheet that is an absolute game changer. This will most likely happen. And this is the sheet of paper. If you want to know the thing that destroys the customer experience, not telling people what's about to happen. So you give them a sheet of paper saying, this will most likely happen. I tell sellers, now that we have your house on the market, some agents are going to set appointments and they're not going to show up. It's unfortunate, it's unprofessional, but it's going to happen. They're not going to call, the agent's going to set an appointment, they're going to go into witness protection. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it's going to happen. I'm going to call you and say someone wants to see your house, and you're going to say when, and I'm going to say pull the curtains back. They're sitting on your front steps right now. If you have a pet, they're going to be let out. If you have a garage door, it's going to be left open. If you have lights, they're going to be left on. Is this probably going to happen, yes or no? You want to change your real estate business? Give them those 3 sheets of paper. Frequently asked questions, things you should not do. This will most likely happen. Here's the next thing I'd like you to do. Take out your business card and a credit card. Take out a business card and a credit card. Any credit card. Business card and any credit card. I needed to have a business card made. Here's a question I want you to start asking when you leave this session. Ask this question and it will revolutionize your business. What is going to be the customer's experience? For example, person's been making my business cards for 15 years. 15 years. And I called and put another order. But before I hung up, I said, Kristen, wait, let me ask you a question. If I want a business card that provides the best customer experience, what should I do? She said, oh, if you want a business card that provides the best customer experience, you should go with rounded corners. I said, what? She said, rounded corners. I said, why rounded corners? She said, every credit card has rounded corners. And I said, but what rounded corners do? She said, it makes it easy for you. She goes, square corners poke people, they get all ratty-tatty, they look bad, rounded corners. I said, what else should I do? She said, the back of your card, people need to be able to take notes on the back of your card. She said, you need to be able to write on the back of your card. I said, okay, anything else? She said, if you really want to provide the best customer experience, put suede on your card. I said, what? She said, suede. I said, what's suede? She said, it's a texture we put on your card, and it just makes your card feel like suede. It just feels silky. And I know it's true, because I've given people my card, and they literally go like this. Good. Oh, like suede. Your card feels like a Lululemon shirt, is how it feels. I said, is there anything else I should do? I needed to have a new card made a couple months ago. She said, Terry, if you want to provide the best customer experience, make your card credit card size. I said, what? She said, make your card the exact size of a credit card. I said, what do you mean? She said, when somebody gives you your business card, what do you do with it? I said, I put it in my wallet. She said, how? I said, vertically, like this. I said, why vertically? I said, because it won't fit a lot of times. I got to jam it in there and do all types of surgery. She said, that's because it's not credit card size. If you look at a credit card and you look at my business card, I'll give you a bunch when I'm done. They're the exact same size as a credit card. Your next card, credit card size, suede, rounded corners, people need to write on the back. Guy gave me his card about a week ago, and it was a beautiful card. It was pure aluminum. And I looked at it and I said, wow, this is beautiful. And I said, this really is beautiful. And I said, but I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, I can't take this. He said, why not? I said, I'm getting on a plane. This is a modified box cutter, is what you're giving me. This is called go to jail. Go directly to jail. So here's what I want you to do. Don't make people think provide a better customer experience. For example, I rented a truck, and this is the key they gave me. All I want to do is open the hatch of the truck. That's all I want to do. Here's my question. Which button do I push?
Double.
How many people say this one? By a show of hands. How many times? 2. And that's what I did. I said 1, 2, nothing. 1, 2, nothing. I said 1, 2, 1, 2, nothing. So finally I went all the way back and I said, your key is dead. And he goes, sir, the truck's brand new. There's nothing wrong with the key. I said, the button doesn't work. He said, which button did you push? I said, the trunk 2 times. He said, sir, you rented an SUV. It doesn't have a trunk. You just push unlock.
That's right.
I said, why are they making me think? Why are they making me think? Don't make me think. For example, I spoke at a business college in Arizona. I had to call the front desk and I said, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I've never seen a thermostat that looks like a Rubik's Cube. Can you tell me how to set it at 72? I'm renting a car. When I rent a car, all of a sudden, and this is the same setup they have here at LAX, the light turns yellow and the person looks at me and says, go. I said, but the light's yellow. Yellow means go. I said, yellow means go. Yellow means proceed with caution. I said, would a green light have destroyed your budget? I mean, seriously? Why are you making me think? Here's what you have to realize. This was from a guy I was sitting next to on a flight about 2 weeks ago. A lot of buyers and sellers are paranoid. They're scared. You know why? Because they don't know what's going to happen next. This is why you want to give them frequently asked questions, things you should not do. This will most likely happen. Let me give you a case in point. I did an event in Yellowstone about a year ago when I'm basically at the airport. This is the actual airport. I'm coming out the airport right here, and I happen to notice they have all these signs on the wall. And the sign says, welcome to Grizzly Country. How much time is left? Oh. Okay, it says, welcome to Grizzly Country. Now, I've been at airports all over the world. I've never seen an airport. This is at the airport, on the wall, saying, welcome to Grizzly Country. I started reading this. Here's what it says. This is a grizzly bear, this is a black bear. A grizzly bear is a hump. A black bear doesn't have a hump. So as if to say, if you're being mauled by a bear, and you can make it to your phone, tell the next person, what took me out had a hump. It had a hump. At this point, I'm really scared. And then I see a sign that says, if you encounter a bear, give it plenty of room. Back away slowly, avoid eye contact, and speak in a low monotone. So what am I supposed to do? You don't want to eat me. I'm stringy. I'm very stringy. I'll give you the runs. I'll give you the runs. I was terrified. I was so scared that there was a Wendy's across the street. I went to get something to eat. I go, I'm not eating there because I got to roll the window down. I'll be vulnerable. It can get me. It can get me. I said, I'm getting room service. I drive for an hour. I get to my room. When I get to my room, I'm so hungry. I open the door, and this is what I see looking back at me. I screamed so loud that people from 3 floors down came up. When they opened the door, it was a stuffed animal with horns. I looked at the manager. I said, I travel the world, doing presentations on customer experience. I said, let me give you a free presentation. Free! This was not cool! Not cool! There's 3 things I want you to do that would dramatically help your customer experience. Instead of explaining something to them with words are one of the worst ways for someone to remember what you said. I want you to use more pictures, I want you to use more articles, and I want you to use more videos. Pictures, articles, videos. Pictures, articles, videos. For example, I was in a hotel in Louisiana about 2 years ago. And when I went to my room, I saw a little red light there was a little red light in the bathroom. And I happened to be on the phone with my mom, and I said, oh my God, they're recording me. She goes, what? I said, they're recording me. There's a camera in my mirror. Let me call you back. So I called downstairs, and my mom said, there can't be a camera. I said, here, I'll send you a video.
Why is there a red dot in the bathroom?
That's a TV.
Interesting.
That's a TV.
Freaky deaky.
I was absolutely terrified. It was the first time that I've been on the road and I did not bathe. I absolutely did not bathe. They said, well, Mr. Watson, that's really not a camera. They said, there used to be a power supply. We used to have a television in your mirror, and TV's gone, it's just a power supply. I said, how long did they take it out? They said, about a year ago. And I said, you know what? Am I the only person who bugs out about seeing a bright red light in the bathroom? Everybody gets this room, they freak out, they come downstairs, they call us all the time. I said, you know what? I travel the world doing presentations on customer experience. let me give you a free presentation. This is not cool. Not cool. Tell people, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make things stupid easy. Not easy, stupid easy. I want you to use more articles, more pictures, more videos. My girlfriend has this habit of getting in the fast lane and setting her cruise control right at the speed limit. And it drives me crazy. I said, sweetie, you cannot do this. This is justifiable road rage. We need to either put a ramp on the trunk of this car, or we need to get out of this lane. She said, I don't drive like you. You drive so reckless. You know, you drive like black helicopters are chasing you. You know, just I don't drive it like I stole it. I follow the law. I follow rules. And I said, you are aware you're breaking the law. She goes, no, I'm not breaking the law, but everybody else going around me breaking. I said, what you're doing is this is a lane for passing, for overtaking, not for hanging out. I said, she goes, I'm not violating law, you're violating law. And I said, you know what? People pay me good money. Good money. I said, they fly me all over the world. The world. I said, you know what? For my advice is what they're paying for. My advice. And I said, I'm giving it to you for free. Free! You do nothing, I said. Nothing. You know why? Because a prophet is never respected at home. Ever. Ever. So here's what I did. I basically took out my phone and I found an article. And it says, left lane slowpokes face tougher law. Drivers who think they own the left lane of expressways. And I said, that would be you! We'll move over or face a $75 fine. We've never had that conversation since. Article, picture, video. There was a lady in Chicago in Illinois, who was stopped, and she was stopped for drunk driving. And her attorney was basically going to say, well, you know, how can you prove that she was really drunk, such and such, till the video came out.
So we all know no one's a perfect driver, but at least most of us can probably say we've never driven with a 15-foot tree hanging out of the front of our car. The Roselle Police Department in Illinois just created a Facebook page, and on it provided one of the strangest don't drink and drive lessons yet. The incident occurred back in January, when a Good Samaritan reportedly noticed the car in a huge tree embedded in its grill and contacted the police. When they caught up with the driver, 54-year-old Marianne Christie, she said she hit the tree in the nearby town, but couldn't remember where. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Christie failed the sobriety test and was charged with driving.
Yeah, hard to imagine, but when you see that. I live in a neighborhood called Lincoln Park. We call it Lincoln No Park. So I was telling somebody, look, if you want to come to Lincoln Park in Chicago, you need a garage. And he goes, why do I need a garage? I said, don't you have a beautiful Tesla? And he goes, yeah. I said, let me go outside and take some pictures. So I went outside and just sent him some pictures. I said, this is how close people park to you in Lincoln Park. Is this what you want for your Tesla? Once he saw the pictures, he basically said, I'll pay the extra $20,000, $30,000 for a garage. Pictures, articles, videos. Pictures, articles, videos. I have 2 cats. The veterinarian told me, he said, Terry, your cat needs a deep cleaning. I said, what? They said, a deep cleaning. I said, what's that? They said, we thoroughly clean your cat's gums and everything. And I thought he just needed to make payroll. I did. I said, how much is it? He said, $800 a cat. So $1,600. I said, so you're telling me cats in the wild have a dentist? Is that what you're telling me? A dentist? I said, don't they just like brush up and get some bark or something? This makes no sense. And then he showed me a picture, like a before and after of what could happen. He goes, and this is not even your cat. He said, your cat's 100 times worse than this. Once he showed me an actual picture of my cat's teeth, and I saw it with my own eyes. Raise your hand if you think I paid the $1,600. I did. And I have to tell you, I did not think it was going to make a big difference. I did. But Chloe was so happy. Just so happy. It was absolutely game-changing. Game-changing. I just can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. Game-changing. Next is this. A podcast that all of you should be listening to is I Love Marketing. This is the #1 podcast on all of iTunes about marketing. You want to get better at selling homes? This is the podcast you should listen to. Because people don't realize what effect good marketing can have. For example, I was in Florida. My girlfriend actually went with me on this trip. And I woke her up, I said, sweetie, the Florida Citrus Center. I said, do you realize I've never gone to the Florida Citrus Center? We are not leaving here without going to the Florida Citrus Center. We went 30 miles out of the way, and we ended up at a gas station, is what it was. The Florida Citrus Center. This was the Florida Citrus Center. I said, oh my God, they got me. They got me. Here's what I'd like you to do. We're going to talk about how to become way more effective. There's an actual science to it. Here's the science. First of all, if a person's confused, they won't buy. They won't. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Google, and I want you to type in best real estate one-liners. Here's the science. The science is, if you want somebody to truly remember something, say it in 20 words or less. Top 1% of the top 1%, say it in 10 words or less. I'll give you a case in point. I'm at my dentist recently, and the hygienist turned around and looked at me and said, Terry, only floss the teeth you want to keep. I can't get that out of my head. Only floss the teeth you want to keep, period. Let me show you what I mean. This is a sign in Lincoln Park. Warning, guard dogs on duty. Survivors will be prosecuted. This is the best sign I have ever seen for a car dealer. I'll lower your payment. 4 words. 4 words. We have diesel. 3 words. Here's the best sign I have ever seen in my entire life for a lender. We lend. I mean, what do you want? You want a lender who's going to lend. We lend. 3 words. Look at this. We cut keys that work. I saw this one a couple weeks ago. Keep alert for DUI drivers. I was scared to death. I was going, is it you? Is it you? I was terrified. This has to be one of the best signs I've ever seen. Instead of saying, find out how much your home is worth, 3 words. Free equity evaluation. That's what people want to know. How much equity do I have? What do I have? I love this sign. The alcohol made me do it. It's a sign for attorneys. Absolutely brilliant. They're saying, we're not going to judge you. We're not going to judge you. Here's a sign up the street from my house. Let me give you some of the best real estate one-liners that I've been using for years. Terry, what happens if you don't sell my house in 90 days? If I don't sell your house in 90 days, I'll gladly refund every cent you haven't paid us yet. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Next. Terry, what about the wallpaper? 90% of people in the world hate wallpaper. The other 10% hate your wallpaper. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we're in a price war and a beauty contest. And in order for us to sell your home fast, we have to win both. Well, Terry, why isn't it selling? I would say the market is rejecting your price, not your house. Absolutely true. Well, Terry, what about the cats? Is the cat's going to be an issue? You can't sell it if the buyers can smell it. Terry, I realize there's 97 people looking at this house, but we'd like to go home and sleep on it. That's fine, but if you sleep on it, you might not get to sleep in it. Another one of my absolute favorites, I've been saying this for years. The price we will set will either sell your home or your neighbor's. Which would you prefer? 20 words or less. Another favorite. List price doesn't determine market value. It only determines how long your house will be on the market. Buyers really expect, when you get a lowball offer, really expecting to pay the house this amount, or do you just want to open negotiations? One of my favorites with a sick sense of humor like me. Now, last thing is this. I'm giving you a lot of strategies. I believe you should have a strategy for everything. Here's my favorite example of a good strategy.
Mr. Goodman? What makes you think you qualify for this job?
Stop punching me!
Punching
Please,
me.
Raise your hand if you're going to stop being reasonable. Let me show you how serious I am about this reasonable stuff. I went out and bought a car, and when I purchased this car, I absolutely just love this car. It was just a super fun car. It was convertible to drive around Chicago, but I didn't want to pay a lot of money for a car I'm only going to use a couple days a year. So I bought this car used in Georgia. Got it on a Southwest flight and landed. I said, I'm going to drive it back. I didn't want the car to be all scratched up on the 12-hour drive. So I said, do you sell a bra and nose mask for this car? They said, No, they said, that's Honda's specialty car. They don't make a lot of them. Now, if you're a reasonable person, you would have driven back at 64.5 miles an hour. You know what made total sense to me? I said, is there a Home Depot around? They said, yeah. I said, where's your painting department? I went there, and I said, you sell that blue 3M painter's tape, kind you can just peel on and then just peel off? They said, yeah. I said, you have about 100 rolls. They said, what size room are you painting? I said, it's not for a room, it's for my car. And I stood outside and taped the whole front half of that car. In fact, the tape started coming off. I was pulled over by the state police. He goes, young man, what is this? What is this? I said, officer, this is a hillbilly bra, is what it is. He laughed till he snorted. He had me take a picture with him next to it so he could put it on his Facebook page. I have 2 cats. You want to see unreasonable? Here is my favorite example of unreasonable.
That's not my type. Like,
My mom told me for years, she said, Terry, you're the worst diet of anyone I've ever met. And I said, Mom, you can't get good food, you live in hotels. She said, Terry, she said, it's your process. You know what I do now? Travel with a George Foreman grill in my bag. I have plastic utensils, spices, everything. I was telling my mom about it. She was, Terry, you don't really have a George Foreman grill. I said, here, Mom, I'll send you a video.
I am at the Homewood Suites. Homewood Suites. Preparing dinner. Dinner. Yes. Dinner.
I know I dumped a lot on you in a short period of time, but what I'm going to say is the stuff I said, it actually works. Try it. If it doesn't work, it just means you need to tweak it. Remember that guy who dressed up like a scarecrow at Halloween, and he put the candy bowl right next to the porch, and when a guy went to grab the candy, he was going to jump up and scare the snot out of him?
When I go out trick-or-treating,
You can find that under Never Scare Black People. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Appreciate it.